At the end of the day, yes, today is going to be a very fun and exciting show. Now, simply because today we're going to be talking about everything that is serious, okay? Everything that you actually need to know. Now, when it comes to 2024, one of my resolutions is right now, Mil, just one, right?
Okay.
Is to invest.
Invest?
Yes.
Sounds very easy. Brandon, have you started the first step?
I have actually.
Ooh.
But then again, right, to get to these, to actually get going, to take the first step, is actually very difficult. Okay, it's daunting, it's overwhelming, so on and so forth. Because when one has the money, I know I don't have money, okay. But when one has the money, right, most of us will be thinking like, hey, okay, I've got so much of money right here. Now, what do I do with this stack of cash, right? It's not as easy as, okay, Nabil, you are doing this. Let me just give you this money. Please go and expand my money, create more money for me. It's more than that actually, because most people will come and tell you that that's actually how you do it. But often than not, that is actually not the case.
Yeah, if you guys are in the same boat with Brandon, I guess it will be important for you guys to stay tuned because we'll be talking about it in detail.
Correct.
Because you're already making the first step. That's not even in my resolution to it. But I've always looked at it.
Yes.
So yes, we'll be talking about that afterwards. And of course, we also have another interesting topic. It's something that we've been talking about among the younger people.
Yeah, that's right, man.
Yes,
Among the younger people.
There is a stigma with this topic.
Yeah.
But we are going to try and quash it after this because we'll be talking about gifted education. If you guys are curious about the term, because I am too, just stay tuned because we'll be talking about that also.
Yes, and another exciting event that will be taking place this year, 2024, right, is the National Human Capital Conference and Exhibition 2024. This is by HRD Corp. Now, what does it have to offer, right? If you are actually curious about this, or probably even you already know what it's all about, but then again, there might be viewers out there who might not, know what's all about, but what's in for them, we are also going to be talking about that later on the show. So hang around and make sure you have your coffee all sorted out already right in front of you, and we'll get to that topic in just a bit. But first and foremost, let's come back to the investments lah, huh?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so, okay, we cannot brush off the scams that happens every single day, right? Investment scams, so on and so forth. And did you also know that approximately 90% of stock market traders incur losses? We are talking still about investments, right? So now we brought someone into the studio to talk to us about investments, to talk to us about investing as well as a whole. How you can be smarter when it comes to your cash.
Yeah, and if you are, very, very cautious about your cash, stay tuned because I am very, very cautious about my cash too. I want to learn also. So let's welcome Mr. Peter Lim Z Cheng, who will be talking about the topic of investment for newbie, a guide for beginners. Peter is from the fund manager and also the chief research officer of Trident Analytics, Sdn.Bhd. Welcome to the studio, Peter. It's wonderful to have you here.
So it's funny, Peter told us right before we went on air, he's not the FUND manager, but he's the FUN manager. Now this segment is going to be fun.
So how did you manage to turn that, Peter? I mean, of course, when people are talking about fun, it's money, but you are saying that no, it's all fun. Is it really all fun and games for you trading?
No,
investment.
It's actually the total opposite. Actually, investing is very stressful. That explains why I no longer have any hair.
Oh Lord.
Oh, well, okay. I understand the heaviness of this industry now.
Yeah. Okay, we already mentioned, and we put it out there. Okay, coming back to the seriousness of this topic, right? Investing can be troublesome. Can I even say that? Of course, you can to a certain extent because you need to know how to invest before you just put in your cash into anything that you want to invest, right? But what should I know about investments? How should I understand better so that I make the correct decision?
Well, the first thing is, of course, investing is actually, I always say, it's a full-time job, right? A lot of people just invest without knowing what they're investing to, right? I think the first thing they have to identify is knowing what they're actually putting their money into. I think most of the time they just say, it can be from their good friends, their neighbors, or even from their friends in the market. They say, just buy this, and they just buy without actually knowing what they're buying into. And the first step then you already know is what are they really buying into. Yeah, I think that's the most fundamental steps or the first step they have to take.
So how do we even determine what should we buy? Do we question ourselves, okay, look, if you want to invest into something, do we invest in something that's essential in the market, or do we invest in something that we keep close to our hearts? How do we actually get the ball rolling?
I think, actually investing is very much like our daily activities. Like for instance, right, if you saw a new product in the market, a new food, right, you don't just grab and you just eat it, right? You do some investigation.
He does.
Sometimes, yes.
I mean, you technically do some checking, where is this product being produced? Is it from a well-known manufacturer? What's the ingredient? You do all these studies before you really buy and use it. I mean, likewise for investments, right? But unfortunately, we don't use the same habit when it comes to investment. No, we just like, whatever people say is good, no, we think, yeah, we just jump into it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, and it's interesting because you said about studying. I mean, I guess you have to study your own financial capability before you go on and invest. Like, I mean, how do you separate? How do you budget that? Because obviously you have your essential expenses, but can you afford to like invest regularly if you have that already?
It really depends on product, right? I mean, if you look at some product we have available in the market, like for instance, your Amanah Saham Bumiputera and your Amanah Saham Malaysia, right? You don't need a lot of money to actually start investing or start saving for it. I mean, it can go as low as RM1 or even RM2. I think that's why there's also a misconception saying that I need to have X amount of money, like, and maybe 1,000 or 2,000 before I can really start to invest, right? But I think that's a big misconception. People really understand there are products in the market that actually you can invest even as low as RM1, RM2, or even RM10, right?
So okay, look, that's actually fantastic, lah. Because you know why? I thought, okay, if you want to invest into something, you need to have serious amount of money. You must have actually quite a lot of money to invest. But now that you mentioned, that's often not the case, because if you have like RM1, you can actually just get the ball rolling. You know, you can start investments already, start investing and stuff like that. But then again, to actually understand what kind of accounts are available to me and for me, how do I do that? Where do I go and check, or if there's any, POVs that you would like to share, so that our audience as well, they can start doing something? Okay,
the first thing you ask yourself is what we call as a risk tolerance. Right? No, we always assume that investing is, to a certain extent, our investors like to believe, right, when investing is a sure gain thing. It's not. Like what you mentioned correctly at the beginning, right? 90% of investors actually lose money, right? So this is why first thing we have to ask ourselves is, what is our risk tolerance? One interesting about investors is, whenever we do a study, I say, we interview potential investors, right? What is our risk tolerance? They say, yeah, I can tolerate risk, right? But when they start to see the market drop by 5%, they start to be very panicky. Say, hey, what is wrong? I'm losing 5%. Right? So the real test of your risk tolerance is when you start losing money. That's really. So if you belong to those category where you can't take any risk, or you got no tolerance for a drop in your value, then you really need to look at, are you suitable to invest in the stock market? Right? If you belong to that category. So if you belong to those categories where you cannot take risks, right, then you should look at those products who have no volatility in share price. Right? Back to the example I gave, right? You look at one very interesting characteristic about Amanah Saham Bumiputera and Malaysia is the value is perpetually at RM1. So there is no fluctuation in RM1. So if you belong to those who are risk averse, right, I cannot stand my investment fluctuating, then these are the products suitable for you. But on the other hand, if you are really those who are saying, yeah, I can have a stomach to withstand a 10% drop or a 15 or even 20% drop, yeah, then it opens up to other options. There are unit trusts, there are stock markets available to actually invest your money.
And those are high risk takers.
Of course, risk and returns are always comes together. If you see an investment where it's high return with low risk, it's a scam.
High return with low risk is a scam.
Remember that.
It's impossible.
Okay.
It's really impossible.
But we still have like stuff like that out there, right?
They are.
Okay.
Let's say I have RM100 to spare. Okay, 1,000, I'll make it 1,000.
Okay.
And I thought, maybe I can start investing tomorrow. What should I do, Peter? How do I go about it?
Well, you should read, first thing you say, you assess what is your risk appetite. You say, no, I want something that is safe. And second is determine what is the purpose, right? Is this something for you need it for next 2 years, maybe for your education, or to buy a car? Or is this mainly for my retirement 20, 30 years down the road? Right? So once you have got all these things sorted out, then you say, okay, what is my risk appetite? Of course, if the longer horizon you have, the more risk appetite you have. But that doesn't stop you from being more risk averse. Say, yeah, this for my retirement, I really want to be very, very safe. Right? So once you decide all that, then decide on which of the products that you want, then you say if you're interested in unit trust, then of course you go to the unit trust, we call it management companies to actually open a unit trust account. If you like Amanah Saham, then of course you go to banks to actually open Amanah Saham accounts. Or if you like share market, then you go to brokers to actually open accounts with the stock market, or with the brokerage accounts for the stock market.
Right.
Does that mean it means that my 1,000 ringgit, there is a risk of losing it? Of course.
Of course. But it really depending on the product. See, there is no guaranteed investment in the market. Again, if there's any investment that is guaranteed, it's a scam.
Okay.
Right? There is always a risk and reward.
All right.
The lesser the risk, the lesser the reward. The higher the risk, the higher the reward. So again, it comes back to you. What kind of personality you have. Yeah.
Okay, most of the time, honestly, when it comes to investing, right, I will be like, okay, I'm going to invest this amount of money because I know I will get double the amount of money. I mean, come on, everybody out there, that's what they would think, right? But of course, the pro investors out there, they would know that it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
And when you mention being a high-risk taker or low-risk taker, there are as well, probably, I would not know this, but I think I'm exposed to one or two that promises high return in a short amount of time. But let's say if there is such a thing, probably even tomorrow as we speak right now, how do we check the legitimacy of it?
Well, if you look at in Malaysia, we say fund management companies, right? So companies that can actually handle investments are actually fund management companies. And in Malaysia, the licenses are actually given by Securities Commission, or we call them the SC of Malaysia, right? So only company licensed by SC are actually allowed to manage investments from the public. So you can just easily go to the SC website and you check the company name, whether are they listed as one of the license holder issued by the SC.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, it's very, very simple. So if some Sdn.Bhd come and say, okay, I'm a licensed fund manager, right? All you need to do is just go to SC website, you just check, are their name being listed as one of the licensed intermediaries?
SC, Security Commission.
Securities Commission.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe I wasn't being clear just now. Let's say I'm really am a newbie investor. I have done my studies. I've looked into the market. I kind of know what to invest in, but practically, where do I go? What do I do? How do I invest in the products? What would be the practical way to do it? Maybe there are some audience members who are not familiar with the steps needed to be taken.
Okay, like, say for instance, if you're keen on Amanah Saham, right, you can just walk into any of the banks, local banks, and just tell them, no, we should open an account for Amanah Saham, right? So that's the process we go for Amanah Saham. If you're interested in unit trusts, right, then you can go to all those unit trust management companies. Like for instance, if you talk Maybank, there's Maybank Asset Management. All those with the asset management, like RHB Asset Management. If Affin, those wherever the asset managements, those are mainly for the unit trusts. So you can go and open the unit trusts either through the agents or you can go through their offices. Right. So if you're keen on shares or the stock markets, right, you go to companies that has securities. For example, Maybank Securities, Public Securities, Affin Securities. So you go to those branches to open what we call as a broking account. Right. So these are the three different types of investments and use very different approach or different accounts for you to actually start investing.
All right, Mr. Peter, fortunately we are running out of time, but very quickly before we let you go, right? Could you actually talk to us how to be a disciplined investor, to not let our emotions come into play? So that's one. And number two, if there's a simple tip that you can share to all of us, especially the both of us who wants to invest, yes, of course, our viewers at home also as well, to actually take that first step, what should they actually do?
The first step is starting is always difficult. As I mentioned, what the biggest deterrent to investments by youngsters or even for people is they always think that let me save until 1,000 ringgit before I start investing.
Yeah.
But hitting that number is always a challenge, right?
Correct.
The new iPhone has been launched, if you use 1,000 ringgit.
Exactly.
So just get started. Even with 100 ringgit or 10 ringgit, just getting started. That's the most important step. The second thing is that discipline, to actually do it on a monthly basis, so that it becomes a habit. Let's say, for instance, if you allocated, say, I want to invest 50 ringgit every month, you just make sure you continue to do that every single month, regardless of whether the market is good or whether the market is bad. No, you just do it consistently every month because they're called dollar cost averaging, right?
Right.
When market is good, you invest. When market is bad, you also invest. So in the long run, you actually get to average down your costs and you can see the result over the longer term.
All right.
As you can see, that was the website of SNB just now, shown on the screen. And thank you so much, Peter. We've learned a lot. I would say that my fear of investing is much reduced now.
You be safe, bro. Just give Peter your $1,000.
Oh, he's the fund manager. Let's just do that. I'll take your card after this, Peter. But thank you so much, Peter, for that. Of course, we'll be talking about more important stuff after this.
Yes, of course. But then again, if you want to learn how to invest, if you want to be well informed, don't forget to check out ASNB Academy on their website. Everything is right there. Find out stuff that you actually could do, things that you need to know before making that very important decision when you start putting your money into stuff